I'm going to show you now how to take a Word document and format it in the proper way. For folks who are Mac users, you can notice my environment is a Mac, a Macintosh, Apple Macintosh. However, in it, I have loaded something called Parallels, and it's a simulation for software that allows you to load Windows and other operating software into the machine and actually work in that environment and in the Mac environment simultaneously. I have also loaded the Windows 365 program on it too. So I recommend, as you continue your courses, that you buy this program and do install Windows in your computer. It makes life much easier. Plus, you get best of both worlds. Let me start by the template I created for you guys. You are not required to use this template. I'm just created it for you because you're going to need something similar to this for the research paper, which requires APA formatting, 6.0 formatting. This already has the margins in the proper way, has the double spacing required, and it kind of puts you ahead of the game. However, it is not the final solution. You are required to know APA, so between here and then, do read about all the announcements that I have already placed in the announcements section about where to find help for APA, and also in your readings and in the content there is more instructions about APA format. By then you need to start checking on that, because if not, you're going to be behind the power curve. Trying to do this formatting at the end will take time. I created so it has a cover page, kind of the central narrative and table section, and at the last page, references, where you will post your actual references. This came from a psychology paper, so that's why it has its references in there, but you will put your own. So now that we have a basic paper format in APA format with the proper margins, you may want to bring now the tables in. Now, using table 1 as an example, the first thing I will tell you is that these are samples. So you still are required to look at the instructions and make sure that the column headings and rows are in accordance with the instructions. And my intent here is not to complete the assignment for you. I'm just going to bring some of the tables over, show you some of the basic instructions you're going to need to complete the assignment. But again, it's up to you. It is required of you that you actually format each table in accordance with the instructions themselves. So I'm going to bring this table over, just basically a copy paste job in the middle of the narrative. I'm just choosing a place. It's not necessarily where it needs to be in accordance with the instructions. And the first thing you notice is that this is in portrait orientation, while this table was in landscape. If you notice that what it does, it makes the column smaller, and it may make it more difficult for you to put in the information. So what is the trick? How do I take this page and make it into a landscape orientation without affecting the entire paper? Well, it's simple. You basically put your cursor at the top of the title of that page, and you go under page layout and under breaks. And basically what you are going to do is select section breaks. In this case, I'm going to use the next page, and I'll explain that here in a second. In the next page, section has been created, and it has the same properties as the section before it, until you start making changes. In this case, you also notice that it created an extra page, which is no big deal. All you do is delete that extra page, and what I do is I put my cursor and then delete spaces until that page disappears. And now my section and the cover sheet are following each other. So now that I have a new page with a new section on it, what I'm going to do is go back into the page layout and change the orientation of that page from portrait to landscape. And when I do that, voila, the page in this section now has a landscape view. Now let's take the second table, and again, sample. Please, I'll repeat, Do not confuse this with all the requirement of the tables. I'm just copying some of the tables into the paper to show you how you can switch between orientations. I'm going to take now the second paper, or the second table. I'm going to copy one of the tables over, and I'm going to paste it on this section. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to create a new page. Page layout, I should say new section, by going down to the bottom of the selections here for a section break and next page. Now this next page is now a new section, and now I'm going to paste the table that we just did. So now you brought the table from sample 2, or one of the tables from sample 2, into the paper in another section. Now how do I change this landscape orientation back to portrait? You go over here again under page layout, orientations, select portrait. Now this page is in portrait, and so on. So the third table, let's bring that up. This will be one of the last tables. I'm going to just pick one of them. Click in the corner here so you can select the entire table. I forgot to mention that, but it's important you pick the entire table. If you don't pick the entire table, you will end up just with portions of the tables. So click on the corner by this little square, it selects the entire table, copy, bring it over here. Now because I need to create a new section, I'll go back to page layout, breaks, next page, bingo. Now I have a new section with it where I will change the orientation. The order of the bringing the table over, pasting orientation really doesn't matter. It's just one way of doing it. And now I am going to paste the new table. Boom, there we go. The new table is now in the right format. Now my reference have to go back into landscape. So again, I would just there's some extra lines in here that I got to get rid of. No big deal. You notice the reference is in the improper format. It's in the landscape format. Just add is a page break next section, and then change it orientation to portrait. And whatever extra pages you end up with, just delete them. That's all you have to do. There we go. Now we have everything set up the way I wanted it, alternating between portrait and landscape formats within the same page. I hope this helps you out. For folks that are Mac users, stay on. I'm going to show you how to do this on a Mac. And I hope you have fun in this assignment and learn a lot about Word that you didn't know you could do. For the guys that use Microsoft Word for Mac, I have set up this tutorial too. Just cancel, go to open. In my case, I'm going to open my IPA template that I have created for this class, for this assignment. And that's what it is. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. Just like we did before in the Windows side, I'm going to insert a section break. The commands are located in a different place, but they're basically the same ones. You basically insert, break, page break. If you do that, all you would do is create a page break. We want to add a section break. So you go down to the section break next page. Now you have split the two pages. You notice how that extra page was added in here. You can delete it by just backing out of it. And now that you have this page that was created with a new section, you'll be able to paste the table, which we're going to do now. Let me just select one of the tables. I'm going to use table sample 1. I'm going to copy that table into the new section break, paste it, And now I'm going to change the orientation. In Word for Mac, the place where you change the orientation is in a different place. You go basically to the file, go down to page setup, and just go from portrait to landscape and press OK. Bingo. Now you have a page that was portrait, one landscape. If you notice anything beyond that, follow the section break format. No big deal. All you have to do is, again, add a section break again. And you can change the orientation back to what it was. Issue averted, problem averted. And now you can put table 2 here. And you do the same thing for table 3 and for the references. So within the same paper, you have both landscape and portrait orientations. And that should help you format your paper for the assignments, for this assignment, and also for the final paper, research paper. I hope this helped. Give me a call, post your questions in Ask Here post, and I will answer them. You take care.